This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by NEPSIS Advisor Services. NEPSIS Advisor Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
Welcome to Journeys with Joni. My name is Joni Rametta, and I am here today with my co-host, Mark Clark. Join us as we travel on the financial road to clarity. I'm excited about our program today, Mark. I think we need to talk about the market, some volatility that's going on, give some people some information about how we do things here at NEPSIS Advisor Services, and just, talk some people maybe
off the fence,
off the ledge.
Market volatility is always so much fun to talk about, isn't it? I can hear people turning the radios off now, right? They're going, "Oh no, here we go."
Yeah, they're going to tell us all the bad stuff. I think one of the things everybody needs to realize is that markets go up and down. There's always volatility in the market. Yeah,
there is, and it's one of the things that I know we at NEPSIS always talk about. It's a constantly up, constantly down. It's always going to be there. There's not anything you can do to get away from it.
I would agree with that.
There are a lot of commercials, a lot of noise out there where people are saying, we can tell you, show you, demonstrate to you how you can get away from it. And the fact is you can't. It's just part of the beast.
Yeah. And if you're going to own good businesses are traded in the markets are going to go up and the markets are going to go down.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The question is, what do we do different at NEPSIS that helps people overcome the everyday fears? And by the way, people want to get a hold of us. We get so excited about the topic. How do they get a hold of us?
Well, they can get a hold of us at journeyswithjoni.com. They can get a hold of us by giving us a phone call at 941-361-1484. They can stop by our office. I mean, we have office hours most days, don't we? Yeah, we're there all the time.
Most of us are there all the time. I get harassed for sometimes not being there, but I do travel from time to time.
You do travel, and sometimes you have to do business on the golf course too.
If your arm's twisted, you have to.
Yeah. So stop by if you wanted to do that too. We're at the corner of University and I-75 at 6230 University Parkway.
Yeah, I tell people where our office is located, and they always go, "Where is that?" And we're in the Home Bank Building. The Home Bank Building. Believe it or not, there's a 3-story building just to the east of the gas station, right there by the first traffic light, just to the east of the interstate. So
next to the Lakewood Ranch Information Center,
which nobody else knows is there.
Yeah, they don't know that's there either.
If you pass the trees, you've missed us. So first right past the first red light. So come see us. It'll be a lot of fun just to have people stop in and say hello.
So back to markets and the volatility. Volatility happens. It's not something we can probably get away from.
It's true.
Volatility and losses, markets going down does not mean it's necessarily a loss. We're not guaranteeing any losses. Losses are only on paper until you actually pull the trigger and actually sell something. But here at NEPSIS, we believe in strategic cost averaging. So we actually embrace some of this volatility.
Absolutely. People are hearing the word, we've been on the radio for some time now, but what does the word NEPSIS mean? NEPSIS is a Greek word that means to be watchful and vigilant. And it's to have clarity. And one of our phrases that's all over our material is investing with clarity. And that's what we're here to talk about today as part of how we do that. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways is we have a game plan. And that's, we've sat down, and you've seen this happen, Joni, with several people over the last several months, where we've sat down and they've come in and they've gone, they may have made money in their account. They may have lost money in their account. They may be completely confused and don't know what to do, scared to death, all the emotions that you can think of and probably experience yourself as you're listening to us chat. But they've never had a game plan.
Right.
They've never had a process that they follow, that when the times get tough, they stick to the goals of just, we've golfed. It's golf season, so you're seeing all kind of golf tournaments on the television over the last couple of weeks. And at the end of the day, it's those who stick to the game plan and those who stick to the averages and stick to the small little things that they do on a day in and day out basis that end up walking away winning.
Right.
And that's tough to do.
It's very tough to do. You have to be disciplined to do that.
And one of the things that we do is we have a great philosophy. And we were on a call a couple of Fridays ago. What was the saying? Somebody said to me, we're on a call every Fridays with Mark Pearson, who we want to get on this show as a guest. And
we probably should have invited him down back when it was snowing in Minnesota.
Yeah, they would have loved it. We wasted the whole winter, but we didn't want to share all of the sunshine down here with them. They get mad at us. But, one of the things he said a couple of weeks ago on a Friday call, when we're listening to the manager and we have our finger on the pulse of what's going on in our portfolios, he made a statement. He said, in a down market, you don't want to own the markets. You want to own good quality companies.
That's true. And he believes in owning good quality companies.
Yeah, we do. And that's really the core of our philosophy, is to know what you own and why you own it. Have great companies that you own in your portfolio. The market's going to go up and the market's going to go down. And the two things, and if you've heard this statement once, you've heard it 1,000 times, the thing that drives the market is fear and greed. And when you make decisions with fear and greed, you end up losing. Mm-hmm. So a good philosophy helps you over the element of making fearful or greedful decisions.
Okay, so we were talking about this before the show about, you want to own good companies in down markets. And my comment to you was, well, I want to own them in good markets too.
Well, sure.
But we really want to own them in down markets. And the reason we want to own them in down markets is not everything goes down, number
Correct.
one. And number two, good companies, good solid businesses continue to do what they're going to do and can weather those storms.
Right. There's no magic formula. And we don't, if you sit down with us, we're not going to share with you some algorithmic formula that says, if the green arrows do this, you do that. If the red arrows show up and do that, you do this. That's not what we're about. We're about owning good quality companies. And the fact of the matter is, and I just said this, fear and greed drive the market. Mm-hmm. So if I own a great company, one of the companies, full disclosure here, we do own this in the portfolios. Great company to own is Visa. Now, I'm not saying go buy Visa today. I'm not saying go sell Visa today. I'm not saying anything from an evaluation standpoint of what Visa is. But if I use Visa as an example, probably a majority of the people, if not all of the people listening to this show, have a Visa card in their wallet.
Or two.
or 2 or 3. And Visa's a great company, but if the market today, and we're in the studio, so I don't know whether the market's up or down today, but based on how we're talking right now, but if the market's down, the fundamentals of Visa as a company, has that really changed? Does Visa change on a moment-by-moment basis on the fundamentals of the type of company Visa is?
No, they don't.
No, you take your card out, you swipe, and you get the goods and services that you want, and the people you just bought the goods and services from get their revenue. What a great business model.
And pay the fee.
They pay the fee.
Right.
But the markets are going to go up and down and affect the stock price of Visa, and over the course of time, who cares? Visa is an awesome company that you want to own, and the reason we kind of said that you want to own them in a down market, you want to own good quality companies, is because when the market's down, that's typically when people are paying attention. During the party, everything's up. No, but que sera, sera, right?
Well, when the market's up, usually that means the tide is in and all the ships are rising.
Yeah, everybody's happy. If you're at a buffet line, and we were at a breakfast a couple weeks ago, and the interesting thing is when the food buffet is full, nobody's really worried about it. But when there's 2 or 3 omelets left, people are going, okay, who's going to take the last one?
Right, exactly.
They get kind of fearful. So
they do.
I know we're up against a break. This is a great topic, but people that want to get a hold of us or want to sit down with us, we don't charge to sit down and just chat with us. We just want to have a good time. But how do people get a hold of us?
Well, you can get a hold of us by going to journeyswithjoni.com. Give us a call, make an appointment, come in and see us at 941-361-1484. Journeys with Joni. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing with NEPSIS Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. I am Joni Rometta. One of the things I think I need to do is sort of let people know where they can get a hold of us. And Journeys with Joni is our website. That's Journeys with Joni. And Joni is spelled Joni, for anybody who doesn't know how to spell that. On that website, you will find previous shows. You will find registration to workshops that we have occasionally. You can send me an email. You can find our address and our phone number, which is 941-361-1484. And just before the break, Mark
They'll
and
also
I
see our pictures, right?
Our pictures are up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see how good looking we both are.
Yeah, love you, Mark.
You're welcome.
Anyway, just before the break, we were talking about market volatility and owning good companies, especially in down times. But the philosophy, strategy, the flexibility, and the transparency that NEPSIS Capital Management has in investing our clients' funds, I think is really important for people to understand. Having been at a different firm for a really long time, one of the advantages for me becoming a NEPSIS advisor and a planner was because of the way we can manage money. And I really like how Mark Pearson, our the money manager, his philosophy, his strategy, how he actually does it, what the little nuts and bolts that, it's so easy for people to understand. And you and I have had a couple of clients come in that have had, one particularly comes to mind that had an account someplace else that had no clue what was going on.
Right.
Wasn't happy with the performance, but that was sort of secondary because when you were asking questions about, what's the purpose of this money and what's the strategy, they didn't know.
No, they didn't. And, you're opening a can of worms here because we're stuck to a 30-minute show. Mm-hmm. And the experience or the relationship that we have with our clients is a process that takes time. And what immediately comes to my mind is people continue to chase returns. And they continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. And all they do is change advisors. They go, well, this person isn't doing so well. I'm going to go over here. Well, at the end of the day, they're doing the same thing over and over again. They're just changing the name tag on the top of their account statement. That's all they're doing. And that's why it's important that people understand we are an SEC registered investment advisor firm. We're a fee-based money manager. We don't have products. We don't have trading costs. That's all part of the explanation we'll be happy to disclose to you if you come sit down with us. But we're actually on the same side of the table. We actually manage the investment. We don't buy things for people. We manage the investment. And the investment is companies. We want to own great companies. And we were talking in the last segment about volatility. Mm-hmm. And people are very scared when the volatility comes. And it's the one thing, we're not allowed to use the G word, the guarantee word. But the one thing we can guarantee, volatility will always be part of the investment world. It just will.
Absolutely.
Because we have fear and greed, right?
Right.
So as we watch the people that we work with begin to come through the process of understanding, I read one time, where was it written? People perish for lack of knowledge. Well, if you don't have a clue, the last two components of the four components of NEPSIS are transparency and flexibility. Mm-hmm. If you don't have those two things, that's the knowledge component that you have, and you have the ability to understand what we're doing. And the way you own good quality companies is you buy them over time. And one of the phrases we use is strategic cost averaging.
Right, because we embrace the volatility.
Right. We do, and we continue to write about it.
Absolutely. And that's bringing it back to the person who didn't have an understanding of the strategy, the flexibility. There was no transparency and there was no flexibility. Having transferred their accounts to us and started that learning process, saw him the other day and he said, you know what? I understand so much more today than I did 6 months ago.
Right.
And I've only been here for 6 months.
And it's not about the returns.
It's
about what we're doing in the portfolio.
Right. And the market volatility, he's not fearful anymore.
So I got a question for you, back to toss it back and forth. What experiences have you seen as people really begin to see and understand what we're unfolding, and how have they really embraced that? And what has been your experience as they've enjoyed that journey? Well,
I think that what they do is they look at their statement in a completely different way. They understand what they own. I mean, a lot of the names they recognize because they're businesses. They're businesses that they use the products for, so they know some of the names. They also understand reading some of the blogs and going to our website and reading some of the explanation that Mark Pearson, the manager, puts out. They're gaining knowledge, and knowledge is very, very important because as soon as you start to understand stuff, you don't have to understand all of it, but you can sort of understand some of it. You lose that fear. And you know what? The phone calls about, when the markets are way down, they don't call anymore. I happen to see them someplace else and they're like, I really feel good about my account. I'm not so scared anymore. And I think that's awesome when you can give somebody some security around knowing that we're being vigilant over their portfolios.
And I think we have an ability to deliver information in a very understandable way. Our industry is horrible about talking in a language that people don't understand. And all of our writings and the things that we're delivering don't have that barrier, I believe.
I would agree with that. They're easy to read. They're short, too. I mean, they're one-pagers.
Yeah, we even wrote something about March Madness a couple weeks ago in the middle of the tournament. A couple shows ago, you and I talked about Shark Tank and how do you actually invest? I know we're up against the break, but one of the things I want to talk about when we come back is continue this conversation about how do we actually strategic cost average into what? Into the companies that we want to own and kind of talk about a little bit about that. But people that want to sit down with us, I know we got workshops and things that are on the calendar. They got to hit our website.
You got to hit the website. The website will have the blogs. They'll have replays of some of our shows. We're going to try and put some titles up there so you know what the topic is going to be. And you can reach out to us. So you can send us an email. Go to journeyswithjoni, JONI.com, or give us a call at 941-361-1484. That's 361-1484. Journeys with Joni. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with NEPSIS Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. I'm Joni Remetta, and just before the break, Mark and I were talking about market volatility, the NEPSIS Capital Management, Portfolio Management by Mark Pearson, and the 4 components, one of which is flexibility, and that goes to strategic cost averaging.
Strategic cost averaging is a term I believe we created it. I know we trademarked it. That's for sure. Everybody's heard about dollar cost averaging.
Well, everybody does dollar cost averaging.
Yeah, whether you want to or not. If you're in a 401k, you do something at work, that is investing a consistent amount of money over a period of time into whatever. Mm-hmm. So if I were going to invest $100, and we already mentioned Visa, so I kind of get the Visa disclosure or whatever. I'm not saying buy it, I'm not saying sell it, I'm not saying hold it, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it's a good company to own. We own it in the portfolios. But if I'm going to buy Visa, I'm probably not going to get the best result on the first of the month buying $100 worth of Visa. Because if on the 1st of January, Visa's up, and on the 1st of February, Visa's up even further, why would I want to buy a good company when it's very, very, very expensive? We've joked about this before. I have a wife and 3 daughters, and I got a granddaughter on the way, so it's going to get worse. But and I got to be careful because Joni, you'll give me the evil eye.
Yeah, you're getting it now.
When do my girls love to go shopping? Don't say anytime.
Well, that's any time.
That's true.
But especially when we have coupons or it's on sale.
Coupons, yeah. If I go down the coupon road, they love, the coupon is a very interesting thing because I'm watching that, my youngest daughter and her son just bought a house not too long ago. And she's contributing. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's fortunate enough to be a stay-at-home mom. And she contributes to their income by couponing.
Right.
So think about that for a minute. Think about how that correlates to the investment portfolio. Why would I go to the store and use, I got to be careful here what I say, and there's no endorsements, but if you go to certain stores, you can get certain deals on certain products, and then you walk in with a coupon, and you're buying something at such a good value on sale that now this is stuff that you're going to buy and consume anyway. These are good things that my daughter wants to own. Why do we not do that in our investment portfolios?
I don't think people think about it. It's not something that it's not something that you think about on a daily basis.
Exactly.
And some people don't even think about couponing.
No.
If I want a new dress because I've got someplace to go on Friday night, I'm going to go buy the new dress.
Especially if you've waited to the last minute.
Right. But if you plan ahead, I know I'm going to go, so I can be watching for sales.
Right. So if I'm doing that, but I don't do that in my portfolio and all I do is chase returns, that walks right into the how do you strategic cost average into companies that you want to own. So correlate that to shopping. You know you're going to go to the supermarket and you know you're going to buy the products and you like a certain brand and you look for the coupon for that brand. It's not like you're buying something you don't like just because you need toothpaste. You'd buy your toothpaste when it's on sale. And we all like whatever toothpaste we like. But at the end of the day, that means it's a good company. It's a good product we want to own. So in our investment portfolio, when the markets, when the coupons, when the elements of fear or greed kick in and cause the share price or the stock price of the company that we want to own to be less expensive, that's the time you want to buy it.
Right. And it's really funny because a lot of people, when the price of the stock goes down and it's, quote, on sale, people don't always think that that's a good thing to buy because it's on sale. But if they go to the store and they buy something at a discount, that's okay.
Right.
You have to sort of change how you're thinking in your head. A sale is a sale.
Absolutely. And, the old saying, buy low and sell high. We are in an instant society, folks. We like to go through the drive-through. I was at a specific drive-through a couple weekends ago. I waited a little longer than I anticipated, but you know what? At the end of the day, the food was good, and I realized, why am I getting impatient? Somebody else is cooking my food, and it's taking 4 minutes instead of 2.5 minutes. So
it's instant gratification.
We want it. But when it comes to our investing, we've heard the saying, buy low and sell high. It is impossible to buy it low today and sell it high at the end of the day. That logic doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yet that's what people want to do, and they want to measure their portfolio in a short period of time and determine whether they're being successful or not. And you just can't do that.
No, you can't. And we're long-term investors. I mean, this is a portfolio that we're building over time that's supposed to get us to a goal that we've set. And that's not something that we set that we want to do it by tomorrow.
Right. Dr. Jeremy Siegel is a professor of economics at the Wharton School of Business. And if I don't have his title and credentials correct, forgive me, but we reference him a lot. And one of his sayings is the longer you own a stock or a company, the less risky it becomes. Why? Because you become more intimate with it. You begin to know it more. And that comes back into the transparency. You have the ability with working with NEPSIS to know what you own and why you own it, and then buy those great companies when the fearful markets put it on sale. And you take that strategy and you deploy that over time, and that's how you get good results over time. And you know what, gang? You can get off of that roller coaster doing the same thing over and over again, chasing the returns and going, why isn't this any different? Yet you look at where wealth is made in this country, and it's by business owners. Being a business owner, and that's really what we're doing. And I know we're kind of out of time on our show today, but this is a compelling...
God, we're just getting started.
I know. We have so much fun with this. I mean, what a boring subject to make fun. We do have a lot of fun. So people should come see us, shouldn't they? Absolutely.
Come stop by our offices. We're located at 6230 University Parkway, www.journeyswithjoni.com, where you can see our blog, send us an email. Give us a call at 941-361-1484.
Joni, before we bail out on people this week, and I know we're close on time, there's one of the elements on our website called the Keys to Investing. There's a short video on that specific spot. And if you can get to it from Journeys with Joni, that'll link you over to the NEPSIS Capital website. But if you look for the Keys to Investing, in fact, I think you can get to it. There's a link at the bottom of Journeys with Joni, Joni, at that webpage where it'll link you to the Keys to Investing. And it's a great short video that you can watch about what we do.
Yeah, it's quick and it's an overview. So take a look at that. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. We hope that you learned something new and awesome. Journeys with Joni will be back next week. Until then, thanks for listening.
This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by NEPSIS Advisor Services. NEPSIS Advisor Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.